What's up, you guys? Welcome back to Wide Body Nation. So sooner or later, if you have a Subaru, I bet 9 out of 10 of you guys are gonna go front mount intercooler. Now I know it's tough to see the way my front mount is set up from outside the car because you don't have a real shiny refrigerator poking out back there, but that is part of the deal. So in this video, we're gonna talk about fitment, what size I went with, because I think I got the fitment almost perfect, and we're gonna be tweaking the bumper in a way that I don't see done a whole lot, because most people either don't do anything to their bumper or they take like some power tools and really hack the thing up. And you know, I'm trying to keep it as stealthy as possible because you guys can see it back there when you look up closer. We have it black anodized. There's the 3.5-inch core that pokes out on the top and the bottom, and obviously we're gonna be doing a little bit to the bumper here today. So if you guys are new to the channel or not new to the channel and you aren't subscribed, make sure you go ahead and turn that subscribe button from red to gray. And there's a lot more here on the channel. The twin turbo C8 Corvette, which is from ETS and Sisio Performance. So the same people who did the intercooler on this and have the headers on here, they are also the ones, or the company that is on the C8. And then if you guys want to learn about Turo, some other fun little things, a lot of stories behind this Supra right here. That's a 2020 launch edition. So that's enough of walking around the driveway. Let's get back into the house or the garage and talk about the fitment. So obviously I have a 2019 STI S209. Today we are talking about this ETS front mount intercooler for stock location turbo. Let me turn some more lights on for you guys real quick. Guess I forgot to do that. There we go. Alrighty. Lights for days. I got this Milwaukee light for half price too. This thing's pretty sweet. So we look like we are good in the lighting department. Pretend like I've opened a hood once or twice, and there we go. So obviously super easy to tell that it's a front mount setup now because you don't have that whole top mount deal going. The blow off valve does do some stuff up here. I'm probably just gonna have to cut this thing off or whatever it may be, but that's not what this video is about. As far as fit and finish of the ETS kit is, obviously no issues here. Love their clamps. They have all these good actual, fittings right here. We also went with their air intake. With the 209, you do get that better conical air intake that works very well. I've never had any problems with it. The reason we had to switch was because with the front mount, you couldn't, just the fitment wasn't there. I mean, these front mount kits barely make it past the battery. Obviously, a little bit of rubbing happens, but that'll buff right out. So fitment for all the piping is great. Obviously, I mean, it's a stock location turbo. You got your S209 turbo sitting back there. That's like a $5,300 turbo apparently if you order it from Subaru. Ask me how I know that. Anyway, what you guys are here for probably is how it actually fits behind the bumper. Now, I'm not gonna take the bumper off, but you can see it back there a little bit. We did not have to do much actual cutting. Now we did do the crash beam on here, so you do lose your stock actual like blue, whatever color your frame is, your crash beam is gonna be back here. So you lose that, but then I optioned the ETS crash brace, which is a lot smaller, and they make it black, so it saves weight and it fits a lot better with your intercooler. Now, you don't have to do that, but I would recommend it. Now, my intercooler, because it's a 3.5-inch core, it's not a 3, it's not a 4, it's not a 5, it's 3.5 inches. We actually didn't have to cut the bumper at all, believe it or not. But because of airflow, I actually did this right here. Does it look super professional? I'd say not really. But is that a little bit of extra airflow? Yes. It does flow right into the crash beam, which then gets directed up and down. But airflow is airflow, and when you don't cut the rest of the bumper up like a lot of people do, gotta get it where you can find it. So many people, as you guys probably know, end up cutting. They cut way up here. Some people cut all the way up here. Some people stop here. Some people just hollow out this area. It's all, 6 in one, half dozen the other. But for me, I'm trying to keep it so it doesn't look like I have the stock. Or so it doesn't look like I have the front mount. So we did that. And then also on the S209, you have this air intake area right here. It deflects it right up and into the intake up there. So my recommendation is, unless you're pushing a crazy amount of power, so unless you're doing like a 500 or 600 plus horsepower build, either the 3 or the 3.5 inch. I kind of rolled the dice. There wasn't much out there on the 3.5 inch fitment. I know a lot of people do 3. I would just do 3.5 because, like I said, we barely had to do anything. We did a little bit of Dremel on the inside of the bumper, but that, I mean, no one sees that, and that was just for piping. That wasn't for the core, that was for piping. So today, when I'm gonna show you how I actually did this. I'm gonna do this to this, and you know, we're only taking out this little guy right here, but it is helping, you know, it's fake vents. That's why I wanted to talk to you about the Supra real quick. Don't mind that it's got a huge front end collision on it, don't worry about that. But when I used to drive this car around before it was damaged heavily, people always used to give me trouble about these. They'd be like, fake vent, fake vent, fake vent, fake vent. And so I said, okay, I'm gonna take that lesson learned over here to this Subaru STI S209, and I'm gonna cut out some of these fake vents. So that's what we're doing. We're not creating new vents, we're just cutting out the fake vents. And the best part about this bumper, which I don't know which Subaru channel I got this from, but I realized that this ABS plastic that they use is super easy to cut with just a razor blade. So all you need is a razor blade with the handle so you can get some leverage, you don't cut yourself. And then also a, you know, just a normal straight razor blade, because this helps you clean up whatever imperfections and kind of do your corners a little better. I find it helps for shaving things down to kind of prevent the jagged edges. I use these as well if I do use it, you know, like a grinder or a jigsaw or whatever. Obviously a circular saw, that's just a joke for the thumbnail. But I have used these on other ABS plastic. I mean, you can do the same thing like this stuff. If you need to cut anything, razor blades are actually surprisingly useful as long as you have a nice sharp one. And I actually went and just bought another pack of these just so that I could have a legit sharp one. So with that being said, I'm gonna set you guys up. I'll cut it out. It's gonna take me probably no more than 5 minutes total. And you guys can kind of see the results. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about my little bumper modification and the fitment of my 3.5 inch ETS intercooler core, as well as, you know, whatever else we got going on here. I'm kind of open to suggestions about this whole situation because that's starting to annoy me. I don't really like how it puts pressure on the blow-off valve. So I'm gonna get you all set up on the tripod. I'm gonna get this thing cut out. All right, guys, so I got you on the tripod. I just scored everything. So basically I took this, I didn't shove it all the way through. I just went ever so slightly in, just got the tip in, and basically outline the cuts I'm gonna be actually making momentarily. So you guys can kind of see like that. So I do that, and then you guys will see in a second when I put you down and I'm using both hands, the blade will actually go deep into it. You know, it'll go like all the way in, kind of like that, rather than just being on the edge. So I basically just went along this whole thing, just scored it up, and just basically gives it a path of least resistance so the blade doesn't just go like zoop and all over the place and make a super sketchy cut. So we're gonna go ahead and send it now with actually cutting it out. Lying down was definitely the best way I got results last time, because definitely way more comfortable and it lets me use both hands to the fullest. So start working it in. So at this point, you guys can see that the blade is actually just sitting in there, and that's how I got it to do it last night, honestly. I think I was more patient with it since I wasn't on camera, and I just did multiple scoring lines, probably about 3 or 4 tries in is when it just started cutting through it like butter. So I'm gonna walk it back this way. Yeah, that wasn't the best, wasn't the smoothest entry of sorts. There we go. All right, well, this time I actually pushed it in, so that's not cool, but we'll get it in a second. We're pretty close to getting it out. So, boom. You guys can see we're pretty much good on the top and the bottom. It's just these corners holding it in, so we're gonna push those out a little more and we'll be all good to go. There we go. So we flip that over. Okay. Okay. Just clean that up later. Okay, we'll drag it right there. Try to get this puppy
back out rather than in. Pliers would be better, but you know. Alright, so I guess the only thing we want to be careful of is not like ripping plastic, because you can't really fix a rip as good as you could, you know, fix a cut. And skiddly-doo. Right there. Alright, so rough cut. Definitely didn't cut quite as much out as last time, so we got this one here. We got this one here. Definitely looks like I went a little bit less thick on this one. Right here. So now it is time to, alright, so now it's time to clean this up, take some of these edges off. You guys can see that's got a decent edge on it, whereas over here I kind of took it off just to increase a little bit of airflow. Obviously I should probably, you know, hit this with some sort of buffer or like a sander or something, but more airflow than no airflow, so I'm going to clean this up and then we can kind of wrap this video up. Definitely has a lip to it. So I'm going to shave off. Yeah, it does not look as good as the original cut, but I'm trying to get this lip off. Definitely has more material than the other side. I mean, it's got a lip over there, it's just not as big as, this is about even right here, so just kind of walk this back over. Trying not to get a bunch of crap behind the bumper, but I guess it doesn't really matter. Okay, so this looks worse than what it was before, but it's a lot smoother to the touch. So, kind of an interesting trade-off there, because I had to shave it down, which makes this a whole lot smoother, but definitely doesn't look as good. So, I'm going to keep shaving down the other parts, and then let's start brainstorming on how we're going to clean this thing up. make it look OEM. Kind of same deal right here, just trying not to take off too much, trying to get rid of this little lip right here, but got a good little bit of it right there. Try not to go too deep. Use this right here. Kind of tough to, gotta use like the corner. Kind of the back end of it wants to scratch everything else up though. That was not ideal. Seems like with this ABS, when you get a smooth cut, it doesn't look smooth, but it feels smooth. Yeah. A little bit of a rough spot there, and then gotta clean this bad boy up right here. Yeah, the slanted side is not ideal. Okay, getting a little bit overzealous here with this part. I don't know, not too smooth, not too impressed with that cut, me. Other side, you know, I don't know, each side has their own little issue. This side definitely looks rougher, which is kind of funny because I did it second and did it for you guys on the camera, but it feels nice, it just looks kind of crappy, but race car, I guess, I mean, whatever. Just get this little front part trimmed off. There's that lip there. As far as smooth goes, it's not bad.
So, is this the most professional looking mod? I'd say no, not really. Does it have significant performance gains? Maybe, maybe not. We're going into the winter right now, so we really probably won't be able to tell. I mean, intake air temperatures, as soon as I start moving, have always been whatever the ambient is, because I have the cold air intake, plenty of venting already. But when it gets hotter, I'm sure that this will at least increase a little bit of airflow up to the top part and not down to the bottom part of the intercooler. Because right now we've got a fully exposed bottom part, more or less, and a nice and exposed top part from the grill. But then we have this whole area kind of blocking it off. So I'm hoping that these deflect air both up and down, right through here and right through here. As far as like making them look better, I don't think they look bad. I mean, obviously this video has been pretty close up. This one looks worse, but it actually feels comparable, if not even smoother. Just, I guess it's the way I went about cutting it. So, I mean, when you back up from it, if I didn't even tell you those were cut out, you probably wouldn't notice. And then if you did notice, you'd probably be like, okay, whatever. So, looking down on them, this side again, because of this patterning in the ABS, I think that's why some of that like stress marks come out or whatever it may be. But that's pretty much the video, guys. 3.5 inch core, real nice fitment. You don't really have to cut the bumper or cut that at all. I mean, if you're going full race car and you don't care if people kind of know what you're running or not, obviously all this you can cut out. You might lose a little bit of structural integrity on your bumper, but as long as you keep the bottom part full. I mean, my intercooler doesn't even come down all the way down here, so you know, I could take out here. This part, I mean, doesn't really seem like you need to, because the intercooler is right here, and this wouldn't really help that much. So I'm gonna have a future video where I'm working on these things. You can actually take out and just have it so that this is only a grill. It takes out that entire plastic piece behind there, but it's like plastic riveted or something weird, so it's gonna take a second. So if you guys want to see a full update video on where this build is currently at. It's making over 400 wheel. We're gonna get it on a dyno for you guys, running E85. I think it's running about 79-80% ethanol content right now. We got some E85 right there next to the bug killers and weed killers. But let me know what you guys think of my little mod here. I don't see many people do this, so I'm curious if people think it's dumb, or if people just don't think about it, or if it's, you know, something that people don't think actually works very well. But coming up, we'll have the full update video on the car. We have a video on the wheels, or a couple videos on the wheels. You know, obviously you can see the BBSs are right there, and we have different wheels on here. We've got a weight saving video coming up on how I'm saving probably about 200 pounds, give or take. And then obviously the C8 is coming back to the channel very, very soon. Make sure you follow us on Instagram. That is why I've been posting daily pictures of the turbos and the whole turbo kit from ETS getting put on by Sisio Performance. Until next time, guys, stay safe out there, and I'll see you for the next video.